Hi, everybody.
I'm Amadea Morningstar,
And I'm Sarah McDaniel, Valencia.
and we're here today to talk about Ayurveda, Marma, and polarity therapy as part of our monthly free Zoom calls. And I'm just delighted to be here together.
Me too. Thank you.
And we just want to welcome anyone who joins us now and also anyone who joins us later for the recording. So thank you so much for being with us. I wanted to talk briefly about how Ayurveda, Marma, and polarity therapy intermesh. And as many people know, Ayurveda is 5,000 years old. It's a system from East India. And one of the parts that Ayurveda offers, besides food, herbs, other kinds of healing, is touch therapy. And so Marma therapy is a kind of touch therapy that originates from ancient India and also yoga. So when we talk about Ayurveda, Marma, and polarity therapy, they're each distinct healing modalities, and yet Marma does spring from Ayurveda. Polarity therapy arose in the early part of the 1900s, and Dr. Randolph Stone, who originated polarity therapy as a touch therapy, as a therapy that works with food, as a therapy that works with counseling and communication, and also with movement, was very interested in lots of different systems of healing from all over the planet. And India was one of those. In my own practice here in Santa Fe, New Mexico, I integrate these three systems, Ayurveda, Marma, and polarity. And I just wanted to give you kind of a small example of how you could do that for yourself in self-care, or also in your own practice if you're a professional. So the interesting thing about there's 107 traditional Marma points plus the unspoken, the unnamed point at the forehead. And yet there are also certain systems of Marma that will deal with it, even as many as 300 different Marma points. One of the things that I find exciting about polarity therapy is that it looks at relationships between different parts of the body. And so today I wanted to talk about the earth element and earth triads. In polarity, there's 3 different zones of the body that relate to each element: earth, water, fire, and air. And these are related to astrology. So the neck is considered an earth zone because it's traditionally related to Taurus. The belly is an earth zone because it's related to Virgo. And the last earth zone are the knees. And as I touch these places, or I'm going to talk us through a short kind of connecting exercise. And if you'd like to join me, that would be great. Part of the thing that's exciting to me about meshing these 3 systems is that polarity helps us get a sense of the relationship between different parts of the body. So whereas Marma therapy is often taught as a single point, like here's a spot on the neck, polarity looks at the relationship between 2 or more points. And so that's how I'm going to be presenting it today. So if we go to the neck, and you just gently say hello to your neck, might work a little bit along your spine. So there are a variety of different Marma points within this zone. It's sort of like if your neck were Santa Fe, New Mexico, and the point that we're going to find is the Rose Park. You would be nestling your hand right along your occiput, the base of your skull. This is a Marma point known as Trikatika, and it literally helps us process unconscious material from the Ayurvedic perspective, from the Marma therapy perspective.
And is it right in the divot there?
It's
underneath the occiput?
It's literally like if you rest your paw, So it's the divot, but it's also considered that whole on either side of the divot as well.
The whole base of the
occiput. Whole base of the occiput, but especially a half inch on either lateral.
Oh, okay.
But if you rest, thanks. And so if you rest your hands here and take a deep breath and invite yourself to ground. Relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your elbow, and bringing your left hand to your belly. So meeting the next earth zone, rubbing that belly a little bit, and inviting the energy down. As we've talked about before, there's directional flows, and so the right hand sends to the left, so we're doing a grounding process. So this is, we're connecting with our earth energies in a polarity-like way, and yet using Marma points. This Marma, yeah, this Marma point, that the second Marma point is called Nabi at the navel. I think we've used that before in different Zoom sessions. And this one is especially good for digesting, digestion, physical digestion. And if you relax your shoulders, kind of wriggle out a little, rub your hands together, contacting the last point, we're going to be moving the energy down, grounding. So we're going to put the right hand where the left hand just was at the belly, and then contact one knee, whichever knee you like. Then I mentioned that each of these Marma points has a Sanskrit name, like Nabi at the navel. Here at the knee, the Sanskrit word for knee is Janu, Janu. And simply, the Janu is a very large Marma point. It covers the front, back, the sides of the knee. So it's huge. It's one of the bigger ones. And as you gently rub, if you rubbing your left knee, you're supporting not only red blood cell strength, believe it or not, from the Ayurvedic perspective, but also your spleen. If you shift and work with the right knee, it works also with red blood cells, but also with the liver. Yeah, so I'd like to invite us to just take a moment to close our eyes, relax, right hand on the belly, left hand on a knee, and feel that energy ground. You might even notice your feet on the floor. Making your exhale a little bit longer than your inhale. Great. And I'd like to just talk this down one more time, saying hi to Krikatika at the base of the skull, inviting forward whatever we need in terms of our unconscious intuition, and then bringing those hands down to the belly, and then to the knees. If you are receiving a polarity session at my office, it would be very common for me to choose to start with right hand cradling your neck and left hand at the belly as a way to ground and invite you back into your body. So this is just one short example of how these systems can be integrated. And beautiful. I know that here we are in September. Allergies are upon us.
Yes,
and
they are.
You wanted to talk some about how Ayurveda and polarity and other systems of healing relate to helping ourselves strengthen with allergies. Right?
Yes. Well, I wanted to give a little bit of background first about how I work with Ayurveda and polarity in my practice. I'm just learning Marma along with you guys. And we'll begin incorporating. But it's interesting that some of the points that I already use are Marma points, and I didn't realize it. So that's great that it's very interconnected.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that. So Ayurveda provides a blueprint for constitutional types and the elements in polarity therapy. So like Amadea said, Dr. Stone borrowed information from several different systems, and Ayurveda was a big one, a big influence to him. And so we use the elements from Ayurveda. We use the constitutional types in relating to people. So, and it's interesting, we can get information from astrology and weave that in because they're all related elementally as well. So polarity then looks at where opposites meet. So we talk about the positive pole, the negative pole, and then neutral, and the meeting or the balancing in the middle, and this concept of unity. And in polarity, we use something kind of like homeopathy, where like cures like. So if somebody has, excess fire, a lot of times adding more fire or activating that fire more will actually help push it out.
So in that way, it's really different. So Ayurveda works with opposites.
Exactly.
And polarity works with likes.
Yes, exactly. So, but it's about, I think when you're looking at a client and you're looking at the whole picture and you're bringing in these different perspectives, it's really at looking, or I find myself anyway, looking for the root of an issue. Not just symptomatic relief, because you can get distracted by the symptoms and what's happening, but you want to look at, their constitutional type and what that person looks like in balance.
Yeah.
And then what's up for them right now too. So you're kind of taking in all of this information on multiple levels. And it's really fun as you learn more levels to take in information on, I think. So anyway, this balance between, like cures like, or opposite cures, and also looking at the constitutional type and also looking at what brings that person into balance really informs my practice and what could bring this person into balance in the moment. So the assessment of elements is a big thing. How they're presenting, I said that. And then how can we invite more balance in through all the elements and with all the senses too? So then, like you were talking about with earth, if there's an earth imbalance and somebody's not feeling grounded, I might find myself even slowing my speech somewhat, probably imperceptibly at first, but kind of gradually just slowing down, really physically lowering my energy and my body so that I'm more grounded, because we reflect that. I also will talk to them about nutrition. Earthy root vegetables might be helpful in grounding in their energy. So things like beets and carrots and potatoes and stuff that grows in the ground are really good for enhancing earth. Water might be an accessible way to, depending on the person's constitutions. So, but anyway, and then encouraging their attention to return to the moment, right? Where's their attention in this moment versus past or present? Focusing on their body. Our bodies are always in the present moment. Our bodies are always right now. So, if they're digesting or if they're breathing or whatever they're doing, it's always happening right now. So really focusing in on our bodies. And then with body work, I would slow my touch. I would make very intentional grounded contacts. I would work on some of the areas that Amadea talked about. And I would really go slowly, move slowly, and take my time, around the table, around the person's body. So all of these are ways that you could work with the earth element. And then you brought up the question of allergies. So I feel like I could give an entire
I know you could.
I mean, like probably a whole weekend, like several hours. I grew up getting allergy shots regularly, once a week, for years and years and years. And I never really experienced relief in my body from allergies until I really healed, did some deep healing and cleansing of my digestive system and liver and gallbladder. And I find that this is an issue for a lot of people. regardless of what kind of allergy it is, whether it's a respiratory, you know, allergy to environmental pollens, you know, that happen seasonally, or it's, you know, an earth, sorry, or it's a digestive, you know, some kind of food allergy. It really, I think, originates in the digestive organs and the digestive system. So anyway, so we were discussing the earth element, and our colon obviously relates to the earth element. And then the fire element is liver, gallbladder, and stomach. So that digestive fire and moving things through. So really, you know, some things that I thought about that I've already kind of mentioned, you know, eating in alignment with different things that you can do to heal the gut and the digestive system. You know, eating in alignment with your constitutional type would be one. So working with a practitioner that can help guide you with that. Eating, you know, paying attention to food combinations and the seasons and what's up. You know, we live in a world where we have access to all kinds of foods almost year round, and that's not always the best. Sometimes it's really nice, but it's not always the best for our bodies. So also paying attention to the quality of your food. I think more and more and more organic is really important. Fresh foods, not processed. Those are really, really important. Managing your stress levels so you have resources and you're not taking it out on your digestive system. You know, getting plenty of sunlight, reducing your toxic load. So again, the organic foods and less, you know, fewer processed foods. But also, you know, paying attention to different chemicals that we're exposed to. Laundry soap or, you know, dryer sheets. Even the non-fragrance ones are really not good. I just was reading recently. So, so all of these things can kind of create a different picture for us with our digestion.
How did you stop getting, what was your experience stopping getting the shots? Like, how did you move from like, wait, I've been getting these shots for so long, to I have to pay attention to my digestion? And what was your experience?
Oh, well, I think I lost insurance. I think it was the first.
Not in America.
So it became something that I kind of had to figure out for myself. And then, you know, I started on my path to holistic healing, you know, and being a practitioner for others and realizing, oh, okay, that's maybe an area that I could work on myself. So, and I had no idea what a difference it would make. I used to walk into somebody's house who had a cat, for example, and without even seeing a cat or any evidence that there was a cat there, within 10 minutes, my eyes were swollen almost shut, red and puffy and draining and nose draining and just sneezing up a storm. And, you know, it was really, so that was just one of my allergies, but I had a zillion. I was allergic to pretty much everything.
And how long did it take you to balance yourself?
Well, it happened gradually, but you know, when you're getting to the root of an issue, it can take a little bit longer, and we just have to remember that sometimes, you know, these things happen. The issues are created over time. The imbalance happens over time. So it's not something that we take a pill for. You know, like we don't have a Zyrtec deficiency. To be
I love it when you say, you got a blog on that, right?
I do.
How do people get to the blog?
It's on my website, livingenergytherapy.com.
And the name of the article?
I don't remember the order of the words, but it's like sneezing, stuffy, puffy, red. You'll know.
You'll know. Yeah. You're also going to be teaching a workshop about allergies?
I am. Yes, on September 26th, Thursday, September 26th, from 6:30 to 8. So if you're here in the Santa Fe area, I would love to see you there.
Yeah.
There's going to be information on my website for that as well under classes. So it's livingenergytherapy.com, and then under classes and under polarity therapy trainings, and it'll be there.
Yeah, we're continuing to do the tiny workshops, and this
Yes.
is our next tiny workshop.
Yes.
Very tiny.
And then you have one coming up too this fall.
Yeah. On October 23rd, I'm going to be working with integrating Ayurveda, Marma, and polarity therapy.
Great.
In depth.
Diving deeper in that.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
So I'm excited about that. I wanted to mention one kind of interesting thing. There's Banyan Botanicals, has got really impeccable herbs. I mean, so they're kind of one of the flagship companies for organic Ayurvedic herbs, and really there's only about 2% of the Ayurvedic herbal market is organic. So it's especially important if you're using Ayurveda for healing to seek out the companies like Banyan or Organic India or Pukka that are organic, and are supporting sustainable farmers and gatherers all over the planet. They have a new product called Pollen Protect.
Oh, great.
And the cool thing about it is that it's integrating exactly what you're talking about. They're seeking to clear the sinuses by healing the gut.
Nice.
And there's several very fine herbs in there that you don't usually see too much in over-the-counter products that really helps harmonize the gut.
Fabulous.
So I was thrilled, and it's called Pollen Protect.
Pollen Protect. Oh, that's really good to know about.
But it's very much an example of how you can clear your sinuses and your allergies. Through your gut.
Well, and that was one of the things that I was going to mention too, is that, as you clear, as you heal, as you're working from the root out, the symptomatic relief happens anyway.
Yes. Yes.
So, and that's how you know that you're really on the right track, I think, too. Yeah.
So are there any questions? Is anybody out there that has any questions? We should check here.
I don't see anybody. Yeah, just go ahead and raise your hand if you have a question.
Otherwise, you can find us at our websites. We both have private practices and see people one-on-one. We're going to be continuing to do the Zoom workshops, usually early in the month, monthly. And then we're also going to be doing our tiny workshops. So those are, if you're interested in connecting with us around polarity therapy, Ayurveda, these are going to be kind of some of our main focuses in the coming months.
Good.
My website is AmadeaMorningstar.net. You can find me there. Also, I also have blogs, and I usually try to put one up around once a month. And I know your work is reflected on the website.
Yes, information about my work is on the website,
and your website is?
It's livingenergytherapy.com.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Do feel free to join us for future Zoom calls and also our tiny workshops.
Yes.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.